Hello there, my name is Pastor Tola, Odutola. I pastor Jesus House Baltimore. This is my story.
When you first, going back to the time when, he came to your house, that period in which you didn't see him physically, did he ever leave his contact information or for you guys to talk or?
Don't forget, in those days there were no telephones. The people that had telephones were the upper class.
Okay.
And we didn't fall into that class. When I say we, I'm talking about my mom. We didn't fall into that class. Do you understand? And the only telephones there were home phones. There were no cell phones. Do you understand? Cell phone began in America in 1996 or 97. So, and I'm talking 70s now. So there were no cell phones, there was nothing. So there's no way you could contact each other or anything. So there was no connection. The only thing you could do was to write, and then you can mail, and the mail system was working very well. So you can mail then. And anyway, so that was how we were able to deal with that. While in school, in order to make ends meet, because there were always demands, like we want to go out for literary and debating society, something, we want to do this or that, they will ask you to contribute money. I had nobody to turn to ask for money. So I had to make the money myself if I was going to do those things with my mates. Do you understand? So I started playing cards. Now, those cards, they call it kashi. Now, yeah, they are gambling cards.
Okay.
So I started gambling, and I made a lot of money in gambling. A lot of the money I used to sustain myself, for my upkeep and things like that. So I never bothered my mom for any allowance of money because I had cachet on one side. And then when we're on vacation, I was always selling things. I've been selling things since I was maybe age 11.
Wow.
I was always selling things. Boiled eggs, milk, during the mango season, we'll go and get mangoes, and I was selling mangoes. I was selling everything.
Oh, was that something that you and your mom were doing or when you were that young?
My mom was doing some of it, but I was doing some also on my own.
Okay.
Do you understand? Because my mom had a store, by my house where she was selling provisions and things like that. Okay. But at times you have to go to the motor park, because that's where you get a lot of sales. And the motor park to our house was not too far. We lived in Okebola, and the motor park was called Ogumpa Motor Park. Now, talking about growing tough, you can't sell things in a motor park and not be tough. Because people they're going to want to take you for a ride. And you have to fight your way through. And I told you, I grew up with a lot of street fighting. Do you understand? And part of it, I can give an example, like someone in a car or a bus trying to buy eggs. These are, what do they call these? I think pigeon fowl or something like that. Eggs. Now, the bus is about to move. And the guy that wants to buy eggs from you knows that the bus is about to move. So he's trying to delay in paying you.
Wow.
So that once the bus moves, you are done. Now, who's going to account for the loss? So you have to be wise in and out. So and there have been times I've had to shout and fight, you don't understand, for the driver to stop so that I collect my money and all that. Meanwhile, you are in danger of losing the rest of the eggs because you can't run after a vehicle that is just about to take off. without putting the one that you have on your head down. Why you put that down before you come back? If you're not careful, people have stolen it. So what do? You tell someone, watch out for my eggs, I'm coming. Do you understand? And then you go and fight to get the money. Do you understand? So it was constant for me, and it was a wild life, but I had to survive. I didn't look at the wild side of it. I didn't look at times I lost money. I didn't look at any of that. All I knew was that I must survive. I know how to survive. I have to fight. Do you understand? And it's still with me till today. Do you understand? I'm a fighter. To get things done, you have to fight. You have to fight. And that's just the bottom line. So by the time I became a Christian and I realized that the kingdom of heaven suffer violence, I said, I'm used to this one. And the violence is given by force. I said, okay, I'm familiar territory. Okay, let's do this. Now I get it. Do you understand?
Looking back on those times, do you feel now that, do you have a sense of, oh, thank God I had those experiences or those experiences of you, when you mentioned going to the motor park, getting all those survival skills, or are you like, if I didn't have that, I'll still be okay. If I didn't have to go through those things, I'll still be fine. I'll still be able to handle myself.
No, I can't take away what I went through with where I am today. Do you understand? It's a whole package. Do you understand? The things that I went through, like I told you earlier, when I think about what I've had to go through, in some other areas of life, I realized that those things also came handy for me. It helped me. They helped me. If I didn't go through it, would I have still survived? Maybe not. Maybe not. One of the first things I've learned is that I don't wait for anyone to serve me. And I've realized also that the good things of life is not served free. Do you understand? So you have to fight to be able to get it because the resources are limited. And there are many people trying to get by, and I'm not the only one. So I fight like I'm the only one so that I can get it. Why? Because there is no backup plan. There's no backup plan. Who am I going to go back home to talk to and say, oh, can you fund this? Is it my mom? I told you she had 9 children. A single woman bringing up 9 children. We have some other cousins living with us. We thought we were poor, but we still have some cousins living with us who thought it a privilege to be living with. So there's nobody to turn to. There's nobody to turn to. So you have to fight to get a bit of the cake. You understand? And the cake is not that big that it will go by everybody. Even if it will go by, some people will not want to give it to you. So you still have to fight to get it. So when I look at these experiences, for me, it helped me. Because the selling of those, the milk of this world and the eggs and all that, your guinea fowl, that's what I was trying to, get that time, helped me. Because when I got to Loyola, I learned very early that life is about buying and selling. This is the way I summarize life. It's about buying and selling. And that's the way I see a lot of things in life. You have something to sell. There are people always willing to buy. Many times, the two people don't know how to meet. So that's why you have middlemen who know the sellers and they know the buyers. They connect both, they make their money. That's it. There is nowhere, if you are a doctor today, what you are selling is the practice of medicine. What people are buying from you is good health. And somebody taking care of them. So there's always buying and selling. So the hospital administration now comes in as a middle person. They know you as a doctor, so they employ you. They sell your services to the one who is sick. They pay you. They make their cut in the middle. and everybody goes away. So you say to yourself, but I'm a doctor. How many doctors go to people's house and say, are you sick? Are you sick? Are you sick? No, they have to come to a middle place where you will be before you can. So it's the same thing with people doing business. Somebody wants to buy uranium today. Somebody say, I know where I can get it. Then they get it and they sell it. So one of the principles that helped me in Loyola, apart from when I said I was playing cash, gambling, was that because it's a boarding house, there are some food that they give us, especially on weekends. That's when they give us, the best of food, And to get a plate of rice, I think we eat rice maybe on Sunday afternoon or something, your target is that you want to eat 2 plates. Everybody gets 1 plate, but you are trying to eat 2 plates. As teenagers, we just eating and eating. Anyway, so I had friends who grew up, with local backgrounds. They grew up, in tough, backgrounds, and they are in Loyola. And Loyola really is more of a middle, upper, whatever, a school for, students, from families. And then there were some who their families are middle class or upper, So we cut grass, every Saturday. So I will go to the guy who from the humble background and say, hey, do you want to have 2 plates of rice on Sunday? They say, yeah, what do I have to do? I say, you have to cut 3, portions of grass. He said, I can do that. Because he grew up cutting grass, and we're doing with machete, So he grew up, it was okay. The other guy, he can't cut grass. So I asked him, you want someone to cut some grass? He said, yeah. He said, what will you cost? I said, it costs your food for Sunday. So what do? So I get 3 plates. I give 2 plates to the guy who's going to cut. Right? He's going to cut for 3. Right? So the 3 that he's going to cut 1, 2, and he's going to cut mine. You understand? So that's 3. So when I get 2 plates from those people, I give him 1 plate. I take 1 plate. Now you ask yourself, why can they not go to those guys? He doesn't have connection with them. He doesn't like them. He detests them because their parents are rich, and he looks at them as they are spoiled kids. You understand? But I can flow with both. I can flow with you. I can flow with the rich. I'm okay as long as I get extra food. That's how I get paid.
Wow. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode. A huge thank you to Pastor Tola for sharing such powerful and personal stories with us. Stay tuned every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time as we dive into further chapters of his story. Thank you.